I'm Trent Hashimoto. I've been on the team for 4 years now.
And what have your roles been on the team?
Programmer,
Where are you going to college?
SPU, Seattle Pacific University.
And what are you majoring in?
I think I said computer science.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Responsible adult. Computer developer, software developer, something like that, software engineer.
How has CPR affected your life?
Well, I haven't had any free time for the past, quite a few years, but it's been filled with a lot of fun things. I've learned a lot, and I wouldn't be into computer science in any way, if it wasn't for CPR. So there's that.
What is your favorite memory or favorite memories on the team?
Learning with Mr. King and hanging out with Curtis and Angelique all the time was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Watching a lot of other robots at Worlds are a lot better than ours. Always cool.
Did you ever have any bit of code that worked the first time or better than you expected?
No. But trial and error is most of the fun though.
What are you going to miss most?
I don't know, we didn't really have a whole lot of close friends in high school, so it's kind of fun to have a bunch of people to hang around with all the time and have fun together. I'm not sure how to put it into words.
Trent, how about Trent? Another kid, 4 years I think he's on the team, on software. I don't think he knew that much coming in. Mr. King helped him and the other, and Angelique and Curtis learn all about software. And he took a whole science and in the area of logging and those types of things. And some of my favorite moments would be in competition. And the drive team would come back and say, hey, you know what? The robot's just not working right. It's not, what's going on? And Trent would turn his screen around and say, Mr. Christensen, look at this. He's got this incredible, beautiful colored log with all these charts and data and those kinds of things. I'm thinking, what is this? He said, well, when they were doing this maneuver, the power was dropping a little bit over here, and it looks like this sim motor isn't doing quite what it's supposed to be doing. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding. This kid knows all this stuff, and he has all the information right there. It's fantastic. So just incredible mind. Stick-to-itiveness when it comes to the software side with the whole logging and the data logging, and he'll do really, really well. I mean, he's very, very intelligent when it comes to the software side and also the robotics. Great team member.
One, Trent.
Trent! Oh my gosh, okay. Last year, Trent at Worlds, I always sit on the second to end seat, and then he'd come and sit by me. He was like, oh, Trent's my buddy.
No, Trent, he's got a lot of things. He's like the perfectionist who can do nothing while still doing everything at the same time. Because you don't realize that he does all this work and all this, because he's always sleeping, but then somehow it's always done.
Trent Hashimoto, or as I love to call him, T-Razzle-Dazzle, or T-Rizzle. Yeah, T-Razzle-Dazzle is pretty cool. He had set up this thing called Smart Hashboard, which was to better the smart dashboard that first provides. So he made it all up, and it worked great. It had all these different sensors, probably had 30 different things on it. And then the drive team wanted a countdown clock, so they could know when the last 15 seconds were or stuff like that. So what he did was he made the clock, and I saw him working on the code, and he was just fiddling with the numbers and trying to make a size. And he had it so that eventually the countdown clock took up over half the screen. It was just giant white font counting down from 120. And then the last 15 seconds makes it total psychedelic, epileptic inducing colors where it's just flashing at you, 15, 14, 30. It was so funny. He was just sitting there grinning. Right before Trent employed this, and he had to put the code on, so there's no way you could possibly change it. He asked the drive team, you guys aren't epileptic, are you? As it's impossible to change, so Avery could have just had a seizure. And I'm pretty sure it stayed that way the entire season. That was T-Razzle-Dazzle at his finest.
Trent made the smart dashboard work. Trent came in really clutch with that smart dashboard because there was a match where the limit switch on the intake arm wasn't working, and we didn't know that it was out of whack. We unplugged it from the actual dart talon and hooked it up to a climber talon, and he ran it off his joystick from not normal. And then we did all of our shooting off of a little number on the smart dashboard that said this is what the dart value is off a piece of paper we taped up on the drive station, and I think we went 3 for 4 during the match.
So Trent.
Trent, if you're feeling tired and you want to sleep but you can't, just look at Trent. He's most likely asleep or working, and when he's asleep it makes you feel rested because he's resting for you.
Trent is a really good friend of mine. We go to the same school, so I probably know him better than some of the other people. It's been great. I can always talk to him about things. He's got an objective perspective usually. If I'm frustrated about something that's going on, he's usually there. I can talk to him like.
Trent is a gentleman. That's for sure. He is very nice and very hardworking, and I've seen that through his work in software. He definitely works hard at everything he sets his mind to.
I definitely got to know him a lot better this season. At the pits, he was always working, and his display pad for saying when the robot should shoot or not, it said like different colors for if it should or shouldn't. It was like, I did like his color coordination and his choice of colors.
He was working on the LiDAR, which is a distance sensor. And he had to wire it up through a breadboard, and it was very precise. And he spent 3 hours getting it working one day and got it working right at the end. The next day he comes back and it doesn't work. So he spends another 3 hours working on it, and he gets it to work. And then it comes back and it doesn't work. That pattern went on for at least 5 days. It was so funny watching him, just poking fun at him every time. But once he eventually got it to work, his code was such that when the distance got too far, it would drive closer. So he had it so where he had like a tripod board or just a poster board, and it would sense the distance and he'd pull it back and the robot would drive forward. He could finally start walking dog. And dog was what we called the robot that we worked on. Finally achieved their goal of walking the dog. So Trent was pretty excited about that.
Trent's actually super funny when you get to know him. And when we discovered his YouTube channel, he is super good at making videos. Oh my gosh, yeah.
He's got a very subtle sense of humor, but if you pick up on his jokes, they're usually pretty hilarious.
It's always funny to see, like, look over and he's asleep, and people have like done things like turned his computer backwards and while he's asleep, or to find him asleep on some totes.
He's always working on something if he's not sleeping. It's always hilarious to see when and where he falls asleep.
I remember him always sleeping everywhere.